Hello YouTube and welcome to episode 10 of our two-handed Savagery Archon playthrough, where last time I told you I was going to farm Zarya until I found her amulet with the "of the grove" suffix. Well, this is me giving up. You can see I'm level 40 now, almost 41, and I've killed her, a couple of times. I got a few of her amulets, just one or two, and none of them have the grove suffix. So, ironically, I'm just going to go with the one that I got the first time, and we're just moving on. When I started out farming for it, I was running through the village. I was getting the dynamite. I was getting all the treasure troves. I was doing totems, so that's why there are so many um, blueprints here. So I've got duplicates of these. I know. I don't care. I'm just gonna eat them all. And we're gonna move on because I give up. I do not recommend farming for this damn necklace. I expected that it would take much less time than it did. Um, I can't remember exactly how many hours played I had before I started this, but it's been a week and I've been killing Zarya maybe a couple times a day. I would say I probably killed her about 50 times, and the amulet didn't drop. So I do not recommend it. If you get it, great. If not, just kill her until you get one that's okay, and then move on. So speaking of moving on, as you can see, I don't need to worry about chthonic seals of binding for, ever. Um, and I've made a few changes to the character when leveling up. Not so much changes, just continued onwards. So I've got more points in Storm Touched. I've pumped the bar up. We're heading towards Primal Bond. And I also put points in the Wendigo Totem. So once you get the +1 on your belt and +1 on your amulet, it's actually worth putting points into this. Basically, every sort of value point you put around your class is going to be equivalent of more or less a free level worth of skill points. So those things are useful to have. I picked up the quest from the Kaimans to get the ashes in the Tomb of the Archon, and we're going to start heading that way. There's basically maybe an hour or two left of normal difficulty, but I'm going to do Ashes of Malmo. I'm not going to do Forgotten Gods on normal. I will probably do that all at the end. There's nothing from the witch cults that we really need except for augments at the end. So I'm just going to skip it for the leveling portion and come back later when I'm more powerful and just do it kind of easy mode. So this section of the game is fairly not skippable, but you can just run through this section, especially if, like me, you wasted, or not wasted, but you spent several hours just farming Zarya. What is that? I'm not going to use it. So because I gained basically 3.5 levels-ish with Zarya, I'm just going to skip all this. This trip south note, part 1, 2, and 3, which you will find on this road, I recommend reading it. It's actually fairly dark, like a lot of the lore in this game, but it's a nice little... Well, it's not nice, but it's a fun story. I'm just going to run past it, though. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to pick it up. It's free XP. And it's going to bother me later when I put all the, when I upload everything onto Grim Tools and it says, oh, you missed these lore notes, and then I have to go get it. Where was the first one? Over here at this camp. So, trip south, part 1 and 2, part 3 is up ahead. And as I said, I'm just going to skip a lot of this stuff I'm going to run through. There are two devotion shrines along here as well. only one of which you'll be able to get to now. The second one is a rover's quest that you need to do a fair bit of work to get to. I will be doing that once I have access to it, but currently I don't have the reputation with rovers to actually get the quest to do it. The Wendigo totem, if you put it down, actually gives you attack speed and provides a heal. As long as it hits a target and you're standing within that little green ring, you'll get a percentage of health back plus a flat amount, I think. Where is it? Yeah, 2% plus 140. So it's not amazing, but mostly I'm going to be using it for the attack speed, which comes from... I'm pretty sure it had attack speed. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought it gave attack speed. That could be an MI thing, or maybe I'm just completely wrong. Regardless, it's good for the extra healing. This is a bit of a long trek, especially if you're skipping all the trash. There's not a whole lot going on, it's just covering ground. Wonder if we'll run into Ragnar. Ragnar is a named Chillmane. He's a little bit tanky and can give you some issues if you're not ready, but it should be fine. Especially on just veteran difficulty. Okay, you can see now on the map there's a shrine. That one you come across first, that is quest locked. You can see sealed by chthonic energies. I can't get that one yet, I don't have the quest for it. Forsaken should be okay. I'm gonna pop the relic and get my free 100% extra damage, which I think at this point is more like 15 or 20% extra damage. What is our damage percentage at? Physical, okay, yeah, so it's about 20% extra damage overall, because it just gets added onto that. So 400 plus 100 is 500, it's about a 20% increase. Alright, let's get rid of these. That's that one again. So I'm going to run over here, grab the one shrine that I can access, the devotion shrine, sorry. And then we're going to head into Fort Ikon and the, what is it, the Archon's Tomb? I can't remember the name of that fort. It's, where is it? It's just Tomb of the Archon, okay. And I'm not really sure how that's going to go. Because I'm doing Kaimons on this character, and I've literally never been in there on a character that was working for the Kaiman. Yeah, I don't know what I can expect. I know if this was a Death's Vigil playthrough, and realistically there's no reason why it couldn't be if you're playing along. I know I would face a lot of fire damage, and let's finish the hawk. A lot of fire damage and a lot of piercing damage, but I'm just not sure what it's going to be for this character. Okay. I had skill points as well, so we're going to continue putting points in Storm Touch. This is basically for the attack speed and the physical damage percent. The electrocute and lightning damage is, you know, it's neither here nor there, we don't care about that. And we're going to continue working towards Primal Bond. So continuing up here towards Fort Ikon, he says as he walks back the way he came. I am going to mostly try and skip this. You probably won't be level 41, 42. By the time you get here, you'd probably be more like 38, 39. Especially if you're not farming Zarya. One of the side effects of me farming Zarya that much is, one, I don't have to worry about chthonic seals. Two, I have tons of dynamite that I wouldn't normally have. And three, my Kaiman's Chosen rep is already at Honored. So, not ideal, but it is what it is. I'm going to drop a portal here, probably forget about it and have to run back, but the idea is you drop a portal, you run to Fort Ikon, clear the waypoint there, or the rift gate there, and then rift back to there and go straight into the Tomb of the Archon. I always have plans to do that sort of thing, and then I actually do it, and I end up clearing the portal because I'm like, oh, I'll just go back to Homestead and sell stuff, and oh, portal's gone. Anyway, here's Fort Ikon. We're going to run past this guy. He has some story stuff if you're interested. He'll tell you about the ambush that is about to happen. I already know about it, and it's not a big deal. What I am going to do at this point, actually, is I'm going to go into the loot filter, and I'm going to turn off all these weapons that I don't care about. I'm going to leave armor and accessories on. I'm going to set that always show double res. I don't need to see shields, I'm just never going to use one, and I'm doing okay for iron bits at the moment. I'm probably not going to bother getting the merit or writ or whatever it's called, the bonus faction standing with Kaimans, because I don't think they actually have any of the gear that I care about. So I will probably keep my 88,000 iron bits, and it'll happen when it happens. I killed Zarya so many times that I'm way ahead. Right. For probably the first time ever, I remembered the portal. Let's go kill some Death's Vigil. I'm really not used to having the white robes be friendly. I'm used to targeting them to kill them. I don't know if you saw back at the rift where that ambush was, I was trying to kill one of the friendlies for a little bit. Okay, so these guys have archers. Looks like a lot of cold damage. That looked like vitality as well. So normally when I do this, I literally just run through it and only kill things that get in the way or that kind of force me to kill them. I'm probably going to do that again here. There is a secret behind this wall here. It's a surprise. It's another chest with a couple of things in it. None of this is going to be particularly amazing. We're kind of at the point now where a lot of the random items are not even worth looking at, just because we have access to faction items and MIs. For example, an amulet would have to be really amazing for me to even consider wearing it. It would have to have +1 shaman skills, which means it's probably another MI already anyway. This is going to be fun. So most of the jewelry on the floor I can ignore. A lot of the rings that I will use while leveling are going to be quest rewards, like the Slith ring, the Redden family memento, if I was being a bit of a dick, because you really kind of have to be a bad person to do that quest and kill them. But a lot of this is just pick it up to sell it. Same with a lot of the armor. We are going to end up using faction armor, so unless it's blue or purple, we're probably not going to use it. It's usually when you're playing with a guide or whatever, by the end of normal, you should have most of the gear. You'll have access to all of the MIs, and you should have most of your gear as MIs or faction. And so a lot of the random greens on the floor are just going to be money. I'm starting to feel the age on this hammer a little bit, or the big stick that I hit things with. Maybe it's all in my head, but I think there's another one around 50 that we could go and get. Wonder if we kill these, will all the skeletons, will all the undead just go away? Maybe. Okay, so in this room you have this little loose torch, which will open up access to a secret wall, which will take you down to a crypt. We are going to do the crypt, but I'm going to kill whoever this guy is first. Looks like he slows you down, freezes you, and the build is strong enough that it doesn't matter. So we're here for those ashes. Spirit Crusher is just money. I'm probably going to teleport out of the crypt, so I'll hit these chests here. And then that crypt is full of vitality damage, which is not ideal. What is that? Chaos res. Alright, I can't really do much about that at the moment. It's full of vitality and bleeding, I believe. But it is what it is. We'll work our way through. We should be okay. This is still normal difficulty, so the game's not expecting you to have huge amounts of resistances. It certainly does make it easier though. Every time you kill one of those ghouls, it leaves a patch on the ground, which is bleeding. Okay. So here is Necrothan the Timeless. What is that? Soul Drain. Okay, exposure to physical, life drain, life leech. This is something you can do as well. If you're fighting a boss that you just have no idea what he does, you can just pause the game, look at the buffs. If you're not sure about what your own do, you can see those as well. But especially while you're learning, I highly recommend just pausing in the middle of a boss fight. Have a look at what the debuffs on you are doing, figure out if it matters, and continue from there. Alright, one Ancient Heart. I guess we'll take it. What am I doing next? I think we want the toad next, so I need a purple for that. Take a purple. Start working on that. Done here. So, moving to Fort Ikon. I will start looking for armor upgrades, of which that is definitely not one. The way I tend to look for armor upgrades is you just mouse over the armor rating, find the middle column there, and just look if anything stands out as being particularly low. I did replace the boots while I was leveling, or while I was farming Zarya. The other ones, I think, had about 100 armor on them, so this upgrade to 300 and whatever, 320, big upgrade. Any hit on our boots is going to be reduced by an extra 200 damage. So I'm just going to pick these quests up, vendor all this, because I'm pretty sure none of it is actually worth using. And then we're going to go fight some ethereal stuff. And our aether resistance is quite low, but I do have, I think, an aether potion somewhere. I'll have a look. Oh yeah, this is the... So these are the boots I had on there. So 178. And these were a few of the better items that I got to drop from Zarya. These gloves I think I had before, but they give you a heal. This is the primal ring that I had been using. I've put on Golus's ring. And these are just some blues that I found. But anyway, we're not playing a pet build, so I don't need that stuff. Those ashes we'll have to take back to the Kaimons. Do we have Aether? Yeah, I'm gonna bring one of these with us. Because the next area is full of ethereals, having that extra resistance to Aether is going to be fairly important. I also consider swapping that silk swatch onto the shoulders. That's for later. Let's go talk to the Kaiman, give them their quest, and then see what happens from there. Excuse me. So we have a mission now to go into the fort and kill Commander Lucius, and also recover some supplies. I think we also have another quest in here now that we've turned this one in. What's next? Slay Bane Gargoth. Okay. Savagery, Stormhound. Okay, we're not going to use that. Alright, into Fort Ikon. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to swap out the component on my weapon. So at the moment, it's providing this Void Ward, which is basically Chaos Resistance. But my Chaos is very high, my Aether is very low, and I'm about to go into an area full of Aether damage. So I think we change it to the Purified Salt. And of course, we're short on Aether Crystals. Bugger it. We'll just leave it. I will probably regret that, but for now it's fine. With the Aether Resist Potion as well, we should be okay. A lot of the ethereal trash, so like these guys don't actually do Aether damage. It's just the boss, Lucius, that I'm a little bit worried about. Okay, so the armory. Couple of things in here. It's all ethereal trolls and stuff. A lot of just ethereals that you've been fighting the whole time. There is dynamite in here. There is the quest item for these supplies. We are going to give the supplies to the Black Legion. You can choose to give them to Homestead instead if you would prefer. But whichever one you choose, you will actually lose faction rep with the other one. And Homestead reputation is much easier to get than Black Legion. So I will be giving it to the Black Legion. And then I'll just go kill a couple of beasts and get all that reputation back. Whereas to get Black Legion reputation, I think you need to kill Ethereal Vanguard, which is only in the Ashes of Malmo section. And the Black Legion stuff is pretty good, so you want to get that as soon as you can. So I'm going to continue working my way through here. A lot of this stuff is just kind of in the way. XP is always good, but you don't really need to kill it. we are coming up on the boss in here, so I'm going to drink that Aether Potion. Puts our Aether Resist at 57. It's not capped, but again, this is still normal difficulty, so they're not expecting you to have 80% in everything yet. So almost 60 will be enough. Okay, here is Lucius. He does a lot of Aether damage. If you get hit by all the meteors all at the same time, he can just one-shot you. So there's his flamethrower. I'm gonna stop hitting him so as we can see the meteors. So if that all hits you, it hurts. It hurts a lot. Perdition set. Okay. Those are actually not horrible just on their own. The acid retaliation is whatever. Path of the 3 I don't have, so that's whatever. But the reduced stun duration is nice. Elemental resistances would also be nice. Increase armor, offensive ability. I mean, they're pretty good gloves. I'm not going to wear them, but they are decent. Alright, that's Fort Ikon. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to blow the... So the whole point of going in there, 1 was to kill Lucius, 2 was to get a bigger bomb to blow this up. Apparently you can't just throw like 10 dynamite at it, you have to have heavy explosives specifically. And also we went in there to get the supplies, which I'm going to go back and give to them now. Okay, we're going to head to the Necropolis. So this is the supplies. So we got plus 500 with Black Legion, but we also got minus 250 on Homestead, which is, like I said, no big deal. And we got another inventory bag. We have one more to come after this. And I'm just going to vendor this stuff. Alright, I think that'll about do it for episode 10. Come back for episode 11, when we'll continue on towards the Tomb of the Watchers. We'll skip the Bastion of Chaos, but this will be the end of the base game for normal. Thanks very much, and see you next time.